Getting there is part of the fun. You bounce along this jungle road and drive through some rivers, and then you start hiking in the bush. I mean, they're just beautiful plants. But you know, all of these plants are covered with bugs that like to just dig under your skin. So even though they're absolutely breathtaking, I cover a lot of myself with bug goo. Today, my son and our guide Renan are leading us across the Roaring Fork River. I'm glad Adam is going ahead of me, because if he falls, then I know I'll try to avoid wherever he went, because we are on the way to Aktun Tunachil Muknal. Huh? Say that again. Aktun Tunachil, yes, I said Muknal. This is a Mayan cave located deep in the jungles of Central America. Renan is going first because he can spot things like the fer de lance, a deadly snake that we found along the way. One bit him a year ago. He's just now recovered. We make it to our camp, thank goodness, no more snakes. And Renan is going to give us a lecture because, again, Aktun is the Mayan word for cave. Adam is wearing a helmet and a flashlight to help lead the way. The cave's name, Aktun Tunachil Muknal, means Cave of the Beautiful Sepulchre. The water is cold, the water is deep, and the water is surprisingly clear in this cave. Why, it's almost like looking into the side of an aquarium. Can you see the glass? No, that's directly into the river. The cave is dark, it's cold, it's damp, and it's very tight as our team squeezes its way back in. We're trying to get almost a mile into this cave. Beautiful stalactites and stalagmites greet us along the way. These are mineral formations that formed over thousands and thousands of years of water dripping through the limestone. Some of the cave dwellers were not crazy about seeing us, and I'm not crazy about them. Don't like spiders or bats. I came to see the pottery that was left there 1,200 years ago by Mayan Indians who lived in the region. Can you see that we're barefooted? We've climbed a mile back into this cave and taken off our shoes so that we don't damage anything. For you see, the archaeologists who discovered this cave left everything just as they found it. The Maya were animist. That means everything is alive and everything has a spirit. So if a pot like this was filled with grain, carried into the cave, and then shattered, it released the spirits of the pot and the grain to their god Chak, the rain god. So much of what Mayan culture did and accomplished centered specifically around rain. Believe it or not, since these pots were left in the exact positions in which they were found, our scientists can determine that at different times, this cave actually flooded. A river underground swelled from all the rain, and it left lines on the pottery. You can see it right there. When the water drips from the ceiling and hits the ground, it forms a stalagmite. They grow up, and you can see the face of someone on there. Do you see the eyes, the nose, and the mustache? The ceiba tree was sacred to the Maya. Its roots reached to Xibalba, the underworld. Those are actually stalactites, but they reached to the underworld, and that's why this cave became so important to the Maya. The ceiba tree's arms reached to heaven, and the roots reached to the underworld that we are exploring today. We can't tell how many thousands of years it took to create this formation, but we do know that it's filled with different minerals, including copper and calcium. The size of this pot can't really be told in this video, but the pot must have carried over 20 gallons either of liquid or 30 or 40 pounds of grain, and someone carried that almost a mile back into this cave to make a very special offering. An artist worked very hard to create a frog on the side of this vase, set it down gently, walked away 1,200 years ago, and today it sits there. Let's go back and talk a little bit more about stalactites and stalagmites. When the water drips through a limestone formation, the minerals ultimately are carried by that water and they form these beautiful stalactites coming from the ceiling and working their way down to what's called a stalagmite. The stalagmite is a mineral formation that begins on the ground and works its way up. Notice on the very end you can see a drop of water. That drop will fall to the ground, and over the centuries up grows a stalagmite. A very devout Mayan set his vase down 1,200 years ago to catch the water dripping from a stalactite. He was gathering his offering instead of giving it. Unfortunately, the Maya also sacrificed people, and 14 remains have been found in this cave. What we want you to see is the shape of this skull. The Maya believed that by wrapping the skull of a child, you could shape the skull into a design that they considered to be more beautiful and even more sacrificial in this beautiful, beautiful cave.
And that's a meal.
Getting in and out of that cave was really exciting. We had to swim in and we had to swim back out again. That's why you didn't see us. We were busy getting wet. And now it's time for you to get up and go get wet in the library. Jump on in. Mayan history and culture, caves, jungles, rivers, archaeology, so many things to go and explore in your library. This is Ben Mathis. I've enjoyed being with you on eXplorer.